our volunteer response. We still do, last summer we had people sign up tonight, like a phone call through that would commit that they're going to respond tonight. That like firefighter ball, whoever showed up. And 2 years ago, we started like the phone call thing, like, which that was probably a start a little bit of peace of mind to know what to work in. The real help, so the real concept and a little stuff that I just had, never feel like as far as EMS units, we do have 4 EMS units, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with 2 of those staff. Last year, our staffing model used to be one was staffed at the Omar Road Station, and one was staffed at the main station. And the reason that was done was that was to provide a public service, EMS service to that street. And we used our first staff second for the fire calls at that station. And then when we went last year, it seems like one was returning, one was returning from the call, and what we found was about 7% of the calls are either in Millville or east of Millville. All of our calls are OTU, Cedar Neck, Muddy Neck, down there. If you think about it, it makes sense. That's sort of population of that. Gas out, now we have calls in the city that it's growing. But how, up for the MR and the street population. So we moved that pretty good on Station 1 and they got the same station. It's still the same plan. 2 those groups will be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The plan again is also to set 30, 7 days a week, during the day, 7 to 7. During the summer. That third year, can't guarantee you that the third unit will be up every single day in the staff. We staff that department. Any day it's going to be up for you.
Well, that was just 87% of your calls are EMS calls. And that's basically what's going on in kind of what we hear about their call. So we like to be assured that anyone will always be available. Even when we have a charge of firefighters to go to that fire. We have an emergency call at the time.
Yeah, so I can answer that. I know it's really a little bit of it's really what it is. We think that the fire chief is the fire chief is the fire chief is the fire chief. What we did was we do what are the crews. We put one person, one fire chief. That model is whenever the person is on fire truck, the ambulance goes with it. And if they're on the fire truck, 5 minutes or whatever, we can survive it. And if we can call, they will take the one that is the call. And the only exception to that would be a real fire. And if it's a real fire, it's a burn, and we basically put 3 hours of work on
Harold, there's an article out this week, I think in the Cape Gazette, from the Lewis Fire Company, we were just talking about this, and, they've gone to county council and we're saying, hey, we're done. If you're not gonna fund us, we're gonna discontinue the EMS service. So, I don't know how that's gonna play out, because that's the busiest EMS operation in the country. So it's a problem, because we're funding at the county level.
The fire service of life, we just want to have
One of the county is the fire service is $5.5 million a year. However, that is split between 21 fire companies. But that's not a true number, because I think there's some variation in that as to how much equipment we have and things like that, instead of the exact number you get. And then we also receive additional funding for EMS and stuff like that. But I think you're looking for the total number.
Yeah, if you can give a
Yeah, we can give you a breakdown.
I mean, it may help us help you, help us kind of a thing with everything we're looking at.
We have actually worked on the county a little bit, you know, like through some funding, but it's kind of been a lot of roadblocks.
Thank you very much. I got a question. So repeated fire alarm, false alarm, is there a fine associated with that, or is there?
There is.
Because I hear the same places they were.
Yeah, there is. It's not a real big concern. The way it works is, if you get to the same place time after time, they want you anytime it's a false alarm. Now, if somebody set the shower, or if somebody set the smoke detector off in the shower, and that's not a false alarm, if you have exactly doing what it was meant to do, is picking up something. But we gotta be places where it's just, we're supposed to report that to the fire officer. We have to fill out a report if we want to know the false alarm. And our mayor and others are trying to bring over it's like so we, you know, we work with the fire office from there. I don't think they're going to get into it, but we're supposed to notify them if it's false alarm, and like I think it's second or third time they can start finding the place. Whether they do that, I don't know. And but the one positive thing I will say is when I was fire chief, we had an issue that we had. I had a fire officer
I wasn't thinking more the money side, I was thinking more of them fixing it.
Yeah, that's the goal, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, because, you know, even if they pay us the fine, $100 or anything, we don't work out, right? Yeah, but the fire office is good about doing that stuff, but you have to report it to them. If you don't report it, it's too long.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you two are running, so, no problem, stay dropped to the meeting. All right, moving on to, the reports, the financial report.
Thank you. Before you have the monthly financial update as of February 28th, 2025. Our property tax collection is coming along. We're at 99.76%
collected of current years. We mailed out 12 delinquent notices, and as of today, 2 of the 12 have paid. Still continuing to work with the homeowners to get the collections in. Balances for reserve and committed funds. Our emergency reserve trust fund has a balance of $1,176,543. Our capital replacement trust has $1,291,541. The street repair and replacement trust has $1,290,881. The American Rescue Plan Act has a remaining of $277,287. And as of 12/31 of 24, Forest public funds are encumbered, and that
He's
reported
muted.
during April 2025 report. The Emergency Services Enhancement Fund. As of the end of February, we have had 41 of the 45 budgeted new home construction permits issued, so we're right on target for hitting that this year. And there's $1,064,409. Transfer taxes through the end of February are 26.8 from new construction, 6.9% from land sales, and 66.3% from resales. That comes out to be 17 new constructions, 41 land sales, and 86 resales. As of the end of February, we're actually $92,000 over budget, and that has to do with the development and the new home sales in Silverwoods. You can take a look at financial statement recap on pages 3 and 4 of the report. For period 10, we should be at 83%. Our revenue right now is 88,000 over our budget for as of February 28th due to the transfer tax permits and interest. Our expenses, we are at 89%. A couple of the larger items are due to repairs to the bathroom and prepping for the accreditation. We're a little over where we should be at this time of year, not necessarily over budget, but over where we should be this time of year. And our non-capital equipment, which are grant funded items. So at the end of the year, when I do the true up, we'll increase our revenues. We'll also increase the grant funded equipment. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I'm good.
Here.
Thank you. You could ask him to say something. Steve, can you say something?
Yes, sir. How are you? Yep, I can hear everybody.
Say something now? Steve?
Yes, sir. I can hear. Yes, sir.
Do you have anything you wanted to say about John's report? Sounds good job.
Very good job.
Yes, last month, the volunteer logged 131 hours of service, the 13 logged 34 hours. Got a copy of all statistics for the month. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Councilman having a couple highlights. Staff and the CERT assisted with the fire and ice event. That's a lot of those 34 hours from the CERT team from the fire and ice. Helping out there for both days. The police department hosted a firearms instructor update something every fire instructor in the state has to go through every 3 years. And we provided that update for 24 fire instructors in Sussex County. We also hosted a range master course that multiple fire instructors completed. We participated in the Make the Town event at the HEB Church of Christ. It was a wonderful event again this year. I conducted an audit of the HEB PD property in Evans Room. Staff attended the regional PAC meeting that was held at South Bethany Town Hall. Officer Dylan Murphy was recognized as the Officer of the Year at the Freeman Valor Award on the 21st. The flooring in Evans Room, so the flooring in the property in Evans Room has been replaced. And the room has been painted. Thanks to Matt, and the Public Works crew, they've been helping us out a lot. We had an on-site assessment by the state Federal Police Accreditation Council, and they're going to be on site on the 25th of this month. So, Public Works Department's helping us get everything spruced up and ready for them. We're hosting a golf tournament in conjunction with the collaboration with the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 16 on April 7th from 1 to 7 at Aircraft Games. All the proceeds are going to go to offset costs associated with the Cops and Goblins event. We're also having a dine and donate at the HEB Brewery on Monday, March 25th. And funds from that event will also go towards Cops and Goblins. If anybody's interested in participating and donating to either one of those events, they can get up with me at the police department. And so like that, we did have 2 letters of correspondence that I think I included in my report, one from the HEB Church of Christ and one from a couple that we assisted along with the fire department on the medical emergency.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief? Steve? Steve, you have any questions?
No, just one comment. Are the ticket sales going good for the golf tournament?
Yes,
Excellent.
very well with golf course.
Very good.
I think
Thank you,
they're
sir.
up- I think they're up to 90, there are 100 spaces, so there are 10 left. So it's going pretty good. A lot of donations from a lot of different groups. All right, thank you. Moving on to planning, zoning, and development, and so welcome back from home. Not that good, huh? Thanks, Mayor. So Carol, I have a lot of things to do, few weeks off. And thanks, our career. And I'm getting sick, definitely. The great 10 days in line were not so great the rest of the time here. But I'm glad to be back in the option development. So I thank you. And I'm very pleased to say that Shore Vista residential community has finally broke ground with clearing activities for that proposed 104 residential housing community. And I would anticipate that we should start seeing some building permits come in, let's say it's March, probably July, August. Once we get the construction down, hopefully by July, then we should start seeing the permits come in and some buildings going up. So that's exciting. Building the Silverwood mixed use plan community continues. Planning and Zoning Commission will be reviewing proposed ordinance on March the 20th, amending section 140-24, 140-28, and 140-152 of the Land Development Chapter of the Town Code. This is related to proposed up and go on the 26th.
Originally it was canceled for snowing that last month. So this will be, a makeup meeting. If approved by the planning commission, first reading of the proposed ordinance will take place at our regularly scheduled meeting on the 13th. Something that I want to bring to, the attention of Mayor's Council, is something I think we need to collectively start looking at as a town, through our code, it really doesn't have anything to address these things. Our communities like the Blue Heron community. This community has been underdeveloped for 20 years. To build 6 homes in southeastern Sussex County. Some point, you look back, I look back through the files, and what alarmed me was the amount of money we had invested in staff reviews, correspondence with the attorneys, developer, 20 years of this, with no return on our work in the form of increased tax revenues through houses that have actually been built. At some point, we need to look at this developer, or developers in general, and say, hey, is this really, are you really a developer, or is this a hobby, or is this something else? Because it's getting to the point now where it's, the preliminary plan was approved. The concept plan came in on September 16, 2021, after we sunset for the second time. Preliminary plan was approved May 19, 2022. It's only valid for 18 months. It's expired. Where do we go? Do we say, hey, start over, start down the lot? Do we get into the code and we make some changes to our code and say, hey, if you're coming here to develop a parcel of land, and this is a conversation that we have to have with Rob, you have to do it so many years based on the size of the community. Because we're wasting staff money. Every time we pick up the phone or answer an email that comes in randomly from this developer. It's something that we need to sit down and.
And it's sunset twice.
Quite often.
Well, we've been doing that.
Yeah, and we're talking about 6 homes.
Before, so we don't, no lie, because they're spending some money this time, which makes not a lot of sense.
No. We're spending money. 20 years, we've developed this property now, twice we've gone through the process. Engineering is not cheap. Yeah.
Does anybody else, town, whoever, have some type of law that won't let those be open-ended? I mean,
Yeah, it's sunset.
Well, that's a really good question.
Yes.
Once we say we have to take a look, see what we can do, this is not something that happens too often.
No, this is
This
this
is
one
very positive.
specific developer, and, here are the things happening. We've been trying to build. Yeah, I was gonna jump on that one next, Calvin. But this is a developer that can't build 6 homes a mile from the beach. When everybody's building around, before it was COVID, I'm gonna go on the other side of Central Avenue, there was Stingray Harbor, they're still building. Beach Club, they're still building. Silverwood, they're still building.
And the person's not local.
No, he's not
It
local.
doesn't. So, here to handle some of these things, so let's say we'll take a look and we'll bring it back to you. Okay, if something makes sense.
And we have as Councilman mentioned, we have the same thing at Ocean View Beach Club. The project is linked. Project came to existence in 2012. The record plan was approved and recorded in 2014. And here we are 11 years later, still trying to close this thing out. It's because we don't have an end date, don't have, and we don't have any big parcels of land developed anymore, but we do have smaller parcels of land where there's chances that you're gonna build 30 multifamily homes or other things. We probably need to look at our code and see what we can do to, I don't know, I don't see push the development, but to impress upon them that they need to do these things in a timely manner.
And, since we don't have the real big ones, the smaller parcels are more likely to be somebody who's not as savvy doing it.
I mean, Silver Woods is another game, 2011. You know, they built the one section, it probably was finished in 2020. Here we are now, 2025, we're just starting the next section. Again, this could go on for who knows how many more years until it's finished. I mean, are we at a point now? Are we stuck? We cannot revise our code? I mean, these are the things we need to look at. We need to get with Veronica and, it's gonna cost us some money to sit down and do this stuff. Veronica, the town engineers, time, but it's something we really need to start with.
We need to, be sensitive to the economic situations going on at the time. The causes,
Absolutely, it is. But we've been in boom market for the last, notwithstanding the last year, prior to that, the last 8 years.
homeowners and taxpayers also are living in unfinished development. They've been paying taxes for all these years. Things aren't done.
Things aren't done, we can't provide them any services, we're getting complaints about the laydown yards, the piles of debris, and the equipment and the noise.
Okay, so we're looking.
It's something, thank you. that we
Thank you.
Take a look at. Stingray Harbor community, it's finishing up. The work that was sent to us from the developer's legal team and their engineers was atrocious. Our staff and the solicitor basically went through it and we worked most of it. We will not accept the turnover of this right away until all of our invoices for the legal and engineering have been paid by this developer. So that is sitting on the side burner right now, while they still try to figure out what to do. West Avenue lighting project's going to commence this month. That's going to bring low-level lighting to parking lot 33 West, very short-term project. We've already reached out to Delmarva Power, have all that lined up, so it's good very quickly. Code enforcement. We have stepped up our code enforcement measures. We no longer, we are the 3 strikes and you're out folks now. If you are a repeat violator of any portion of the town code, you will get a hefty fine from our office. No that and for buts about it. It wastes our time to continually go out and catch the same people doing the same thing. But I just want you folks to be aware of that. If you get complaints, that's just the way that our office is starting to do business with a lot of these folks. Yeah, COs and other things there. If you have any questions, we have any for you. Thank you. Yep. Any questions? B.
Ken, real quick, what's the maximum fine that you're allowed to cite someone for?
They vary depending on the chapter of the code. They generally range from 5 to 500. The building construction, 8416, maximum fine is $1,000.
Okay.
And then we actually have an outstanding fine fine for, a fine that accrued over a period of time that we're waiting to collect from a property in Avon Park. I've talked to the solicitor and find out where that's at, it's all we reached an agreement. So they accumulate, if it's a repetitive fine, you got the initial fine. And like if it's, and if you're still not compliant, then it's an each day compounding fine after that.
Right, but the max is $1,000, although it could compound daily.
Yes,
Very good. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the town manager's report. John?
Yes, Mayor and Council. As you know, we held a public hearing on the FY 26 budget and public workshop on February 25th. Mayor and Council provided feedback and staff responded to questions. All of the questions have been captured and added to the Budget Central scroll item on our website for easy access by the community. And I also attached a listing of the questions and answers to my report, which are also available on the website. In addition, our consultant, VM Long from PFM Financial Advisors, presented the outcome of our finance assessment, step 1, diagnosis, and our step 2, options and recommendations. Both can also be found on the Budget Central scroll item on our website. Key takeaways include the development of additional reserve policy guide rails, completion of compensation and risk analysis studies in FY 26, creation of a real estate tax policy, and creation of a tax rate stabilization fund, utilizing one-time funds remaining after the sale of our water distribution system. All options and recommendations will be fully considered and brought to council during the next budget year for discussion and possible implementation. I also wanted it to be noted that for full transparency, the budget workshop may also be viewed regularly now on Ocean View TV, channels 818 and 78, or by visiting the town's YouTube channel. The budget ordinances that are also on the agenda for tonight are also will be available for people to view online. Regarding the water sale, on February 19th, 2025, the Public Service Commission approved the town of Ocean View's sale of its water distribution system assets to Tidewater Utilities with a purchase price of $4,607,660, and in association with an asset purchase agreement between the parties. Staff are now working with bond and legal counsel representatives to facilitate the closing and payoff of all existing town debt. A closing date of April 1st is anticipated, at least at the time of writing, and still to be. Access control grant funding. So last week we were awarded $62,265 from DEMA to expand our access controls at 201 Central, our main admin building. We were previously awarded a grant of $27,000 to add this facility several years ago. And I'm currently preparing the grant request for a maintenance facility so that all of our facilities would have the same access controls, eliminating the need for keys and improving access awareness and management. We also received last week the final approval of $40,000 grant associated with the development of an outdoor classroom meeting space as part of the Burson's natural area. That is from DENRAC, the Outdoor Recreation Park and Trail Program. And with that, I just, the other thing, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer about anything else in the report or otherwise.
Any questions for Carol? Nothing. Dave?
Thank you.
Moving on to public works report.
So
hopefully we're done with all the snow. So this is the first 2 weeks we haven't had snow. But the guys have been hard at work. As Chief was saying, a lot of them have been over there, getting ready for the inspections. They washed over the flooring and painted the walls there, and a lot of pressure washing and more touch up paint. Also big plates, house towel. Collins also everything and washed everything, so it's looking pretty good. Tomorrow we're gonna put in new showers, physical bath, new showers. So that's moving along. The guys have been out here working on the park lately. But yeah, we've been doing a lot. We had some training just last week for the RPS conference, so the guys were able to have little mini sessions like tree health. There was a playground maintenance session that was really helpful for the guys. Masonry restoration, winter field implementation, maintaining wooden structures. We did have our 2 snow events on the 11th and 19th. So a lot of work repairing torn up code and pile damage, a couple signs, not too much. We lucked out. We had an abandoned trailer in our yard, and the guys restored that, so it's functional. We don't have to find the trailer. Good part.
Any questions on that? No.
No, I'm good.
You probably don't know the answer to this, so I'll ask Dawn. What was the total cost of tuning in the field?
They were-
It's 138.
For a town our size, we budget 45,000, some years we don't have any. The full cost for operations, including our in-house, the contractual employees, salt, 130.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I would just like to add, the cost of that first storm was very high, and there were several factors. Number one, we were out there for the first 22 hours. But looking long range at our forecast over the next couple of weeks, and having had, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches of snow around, and that really was. No chance for temperatures to moderate above 40 degrees for a 3-week period. Another storm coming that weekend, the following weekend. I made the decision that it was best for us to, especially in the communities with the small cul-de-sacs and communities, we have a lot of folks here that are my age and older, and to get that snow out of those communities and those cul-de-sacs, so our emergency responders can get in there and do their jobs, knowing that that snow wasn't going to go anywhere for about 3 weeks. So moving that snow and trucking that snow was a big cost against it.
and in my, you may notice, I think I put in my report a picture of where it was all bolted. Which is wonderful if you have the opportunity to do that. You all know that, with that said, we're utilizing, we recommended to utilize at the end of the year unassigned fund balance to cover that. So I'm not saying we don't have the funds. It also doesn't make sense for us to budget 130,000 when we go 3 years without. So, as long as we're all on the same page that, we don't want to change our, how we're responding. And I have not heard that from anybody yet. Then there's going to be years where we're going to be up like this, and there's going to be years where we spend nothing, which is like 2 years prior. So, we've got a lot of good feedback about our snow response this year.
Thank you. Moving on to the Millville Volunteer Fire Department, activity report. In February, they had 242 calls, of which 87% were EMS calls. 32 were fire. In the town of Ocean View, 42 of those 242 calls supposed to be up to $23. Okay, we're gonna move to, citizen privilege on items from the pre-published agenda. The discussion, consideration, or items subsequently added. To the agenda, for discussion and consideration, if anyone please, the first citizen privilege. He may not speak on the same topic as the second. Citizen privilege. So are there any questions or comments? From the audience? Or from, YouTube? Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you. New business. Introduction of ordinances, annual fiscal 26 budget ordinance and the 5-year capital expenditure plan. Who's going to handle that?
Okay, so, we need a motion for you, we need a, introduction for you.
Okay.
So,
I'd like to ask someone to make an introduction of the fiscal year 26 budget ordinance, including the operating budget and capital program. Each will be needed to be voted on separately.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to introduce the 2026 annual operating budget ordinance as proposed and totaling $6,377,515.
Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So approved.
okay,
And I need, another, introduction to the down program.
I would like to introduce the 5-year capital expenditure budget covering fiscal year ending April 30th, 2026 through 2030 as proposed for each year and totaling $1,623,000.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes. Thank you. Moving on to, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on the appointments of Tom Nally and Susan Kerwin, to the Board of Adjustments. John?
Now, currently, we have an opening on the Board of Assessment due to passing, Mr. Olson. I'd like to recommend that Tom Nally take that seat. We also, with the Board of Assessments, there are only 3 seats, so if on the day someone is absent or cannot attend, we would not be able to have the meeting. With us having to have our assessments finalized by March 31st, believe that it would be in the best interest for us to have a, alternate for that seat as well. I'm recommending that Susan Kerwin be placed as an alternate.
Okay, so is this, an interim appointment for Mr. Nally?
Every, at the reorganization meeting is when we bring the whole board up for each year. That happens at the end of April, so he would be in the seat for the March 26th Board of Assessments, if we have one, with the alternate of Ms. Kerwin, in case someone is not able to attend. And then at the reorganization meeting, when the boards are reviewed again, it would go on then.
Any other questions, Don? No. Hearing none, I need a motion to approve, Tom Valley and Susan Kerwin to the Board of Adjustments.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Susan Kerwin as well as Tom Valley to alternate members of the Board of Assessment.
No, that's not, there's only one person.
Tom will take the his place. And then an alternate is, Susan Kerwin.
You want to step it? Yeah. I would approve Sue Kerwin as the alternate member of the Board of Assessments. and Tom Malley as the emergency number.
Replacement.
Replacement.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Discussion and consideration of possible voting on a recommendation to authorize the advance order of a mosquito spray.
Yes, Mayor and Council, our oldest truck mounted mosquito sprayer, Bobber, is scheduled for replacement in FY 26 and needed for the start of our season spraying program in May. The cost of a replacement from our existing vendor, Clark Mosquito Control Products, is $21,695. Clark Mosquito also provides chemicals maintenance, equipment training, workshops, and calibration of our units annually. Funds totaling $22,660 are available from the Capital Reserve Trust Fund, as the unit is included in the reserve study and its associated funding reserves. The purchases included in the proposed FY 26 capital budget. It's therefore recommended that Mayor and Council authorize the town to place the order for the replacement unit now in advance to the start of the FY 26 budget to allow us to take possession of the unit soon after May 1st, 2025. It is necessary to take possession of the unit and make payment in the same budget year.
Total call.
$21,695.
And we start spraying.
Men. And we utilize two, often a reason to have a backup, and the oldest one is past repair.
Any questions? Hearing none, I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the mosquito sprayer at the cost of $1,695 to replace the one.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the last item, discussion, consideration, possible voting on recommendation for award of fiscal year 2025 street paving project. In this one?
Yeah.
Discussion, this was one of discussion, consideration, possible voting by recommendation for a cot access expansion within 201 Central Avenue.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I mentioned this during my report, that this is for the facility at 201 Central, and this is also an expansion of the system that we've already had in place, that we've been very fortunate to get grant funding for. The cost to expand our card access capabilities within 201 Central is $65,520. We're fortunate enough, again, to get grant funding of $62,265 to cover most of it. The remaining $3,255 to expand the system are available from the Capital Reserve Trust Funds. And it's therefore recommended that Mayor and Council authorize the town manager to enter into an agreement with Advantech, a current vendor, to expand our card access system within 201 Central.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Any motion?
Mr. Mayor, I recommend we move forward with the expansion of the card access system at 201 Central for the town manager's report to the total cost of $65,520, utilizing DEMA grant funds and capital reserve trust funds.
Do I hear a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
The last item, discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation for award of fiscal year 2025 street paving project, OVPC&D, $25,000.
This project, is to mill and overlay Osprey Ring.
Solicited field bid for the FY 25 street paving patching project. It will be PCND 2504 replacing local newspapers and the town website. The work involves furnishing all labor, materials, transportation, tools, supplies, and equipment necessary, make roadway passes, going over like Osprey Lane, William Avenue, and South Road. Both of these are incorporated. Two links to the town solution. Two sealed bids were received and opened on February 22nd, 2025. Road bid was George and Lynch Incorporated, $239,602.70. The Wallace and Montgomery project estimate was $211,933.04. The complete review and summary of the bids was performed by Mike Biafra, project manager of Michael Biafra Consulting LLC, and is attached for you to review. The time they wrote this, funding is available to be compared to the FY 25 street repair and replacement trust fund, totaling $1,600,000. It is therefore recommended the mayor and council authorize the town manager to enter into the contract with George Lynch Incorporated for a total bid amount of $239,602.70. Thank you. Any questions for Ken? No.
If not, I need a motion to authorize the town manager to enter the contract.
Make a motion, we approve the overlay of Osprey Lane, William Avenue, and Canal Court located in incorporated town of Ocean for the sum of, George and Lynch Incorporated for the sum of $239,602.70.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We now go into the second citizen privilege. To the same provisions as first citizen privilege. Any comments, questions? If not, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.